Hi everybody, Judy Parcell here. I just want to talk to you about a different thing you can do with stencils. I know that you can take your pencil and just copy the whole stencil down and try to make something out of it. But what I did was, and you see how dirty this is, I scanned it and I put it in Photoshop and I took all the color out of it. There's a feature in Photoshop that just erases all color, and it made it black, and that's what I wanted. And then I didn't have to try to clean this up and get it to white to get it to work. I could just have Photoshop do that for me. And what I created out of it was something quite different. Now, this stencil, if you look real close, it's got a kind of a dirty spot in this corner. And when you scan it, it really shows up. So I decided to do what I did in Photoshop, and I came up, I cut half of it out in Photoshop and just flipped it over, and it gave me an entirely different design from the stencil itself. So once I got it where it wasn't white, I did invert in Photoshop. It became a black stencil. And then I could color in very quickly in Photoshop all of these colors. And I finished it up by painting the edges up here, and you can't see, but they're silver. All these are silver, and the center is silver, because these are kind of cool colors, and I thought maybe silver would go very well with this. Then I did it again, and this time I painted all those spots in gold, and you can sort of see it shimmering here. And they both look good. On the camera, the gold looks a lot better, but that was a fun project, just using stencils to create a new design. Now I'm going to show you some stencils that I have of Elizabeth St. Hilaire's stencils that she created from what we call Art Nouveau. Now, she and I both love Klimt. You know, the Impressionist artists. Is the Impressionist? Yeah, that was during the Impressionistic period. But this is Art Nouveau. And she adapted a design for a stencil with this. And I did the same thing with her stencil that I did with mine. And I painted. What I did here was, you'll notice there's textures in these shapes, different textures. I used the layering system in Photoshop to layer in several background designs that I keep in a separate file, and I use the background designs to create all this kind of, what do you call, variegated surfaces on there. And then I painted in between here, and it does not show up well, gold. And I found a really, really good gold paint for painting. It's an acrylic-based paint. Let me show that to you. And I swear by this. Let's see if I can show it to you. This is called Deco Art Extreme Sheen. And when you paint this, it looks like gold. It's beautiful. This stencil is really after the artwork that Van Gogh does. He's another favorite of mine. You know how he does the swirly clouds and all of that. And so this is her stencil, and then I use background designs to force through into these different areas. And then I went in and I painted. I didn't paint Yeah, I did a little bit of gold on this. There's not, yeah, you can see a little bit of gold on it. Not a lot, but I really love that. It's very beautiful. This is another Klimt inspired stencil that she did. And again, I did the layering system with the different backgrounds, and I painted in gold, just in places. I didn't overwhelm it with gold. I don't like things to be too gaudy, but I still love to use a little bit of gold. And this one is my favorite. This is Peacocks. And this is a Klimt or Art Nouveau design that Elizabeth did. And again, I did the variegated background designs. I pushed them through. And then I painted with a little bit of gold just down at the bottom of the eye of the feather. Nothing too fancy. It's too bad that doesn't show up here. Oh yes, it does. There we go. So it gives it kind of a glow. That's kind of fun. Anyway, I call these papers and or just pieces of art. I'm not going to run out and make a card out of them. First of all, they're going in the wrong direction. And that would be difficult to make a card out of, but I just really love this one. Anyway, I just want to share that with you. And thank you for dropping by my studio, and I'll talk to you later.